Structure matrices, otherwise known as the fabled third research cube, are within our grasp, and once there, interplanetary automation will be fast on its heels. Hello, Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Dyson Sphere Program in our Alpha Andromedae series. We are 264 of each cube type away from wrapping up research on structure matrices, and then we can start making them. In the meantime, there are a few kind of smaller matters that I want to make sure I take care of. Namely, in the last episode, I meant to take a bunch of graphene with me in order to produce additional... That's a good amount. There we go. See, I thought I'd already done that, but I hadn't. But I meant to take a bunch of that with me in order to produce more Assembler Mark IIs on our outpost world, Alpha Andromedae 4. Unfortunately, I did not do that. So somewhat embarrassingly, I had to delay fully upgrading those to this episode. But what we're going to focus on once we have done that, we should get back in time. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave now. I'm well fueled now that I have those amazing hydrogen fuel cells. I know I've talked about them enough. I'm going to keep talking about them, whether you like it or not. We are going to head to Alpha Andromedae 4 once I find it. Hello? Why are all my planets hiding from me? That's what I want to know. Let's speed up a bit, see if we can find it. All right, so if we go on the orbital plane like this, there it is. I was using the orbital plane. If you look in the bottom left, you can line yourself up with that and then rotate the camera around if you're ever having trouble finding a planet. You can also do this. So you can set destinations and make them easy to find. If you were thinking I didn't know about that, I do. I just don't use it. I prefer finding the planets myself. It is very handy for traveling to faraway stars, and I will use it then. Not only as a way to point my direction, but also as a way to kind of keep track of how close I am and whether or not I might run out of fuel before I get there. Or more accurately, run out of energy. If I'm worried about running out of fuel mid-warp, I've got bigger problems. Because then I'm going to be traveling for a while. Eventually, you can upgrade Icarus's sailing speed to reach 2,000 meters per second instead of the maximum being 1,000. But even before that point, it gets very, very challenging when you're flying in between stars on impulse power, basically, on sublight standards. It just takes a minute. All right, so this is our current cap speed, 1,000 meters per second. We're just passing by Alpha Andromedae 3, which we haven't actually visited yet at all. We haven't really had a reason to, but it is interesting that we haven't visited it at all. It has all the resources that 4 has on it and more. Well, actually, and not more. 4 is the better planet. But we'll go there eventually. It might actually be that once some of the basic resources on 4 are exhausted, the most sensible solution is just to build a quick export apparatus, basically, on Alpha Andromedae 3, and use that to send what's needed to the next world. Okay, so now let's see what I've got my settings to, because I'm still looking at these. All right, so it's telling me... See, I want to carry more than at least that many. See, I think that's what's throwing me off. I almost want it to work differently than it does. That's what was confusing me last episode, because I actually want to be able to bring the minimum that gets transported. I want to bring that beyond the minimum that gets held in my inventory. If that makes sense. Because I'm using myself as a shuttle, but I understand why it's doing it this way. The logistics system is really made for later in the game when you're not having to shuttle things yourself anymore. So that's what was throwing me off. And they are bringing me additional goods there, which is nice. And I've already got the titanium that I need. They're bringing additional amounts in. So now that I'm here, let's go ahead and look into making... Yep, there we go. I can make some additional level 2 assemblers. And then we have, as you recall, there was a bit of a problem on this planet. There we go. Structure matrices, done. All right, that's a big deal. But before we get there was a bit of a problem on this planet in terms of not all of the resources that we need being adequately produced. And it looks especially like silicon might be part of the problem. So let's go ahead and change that. I can address this in a couple of ways, actually. Let's grab some metal. Or some iron, rather. I keep calling it metal, but it's not metal, it's iron. There are lots of metals that I'm dealing with. And what else do we need? We needed more circuit boards. So let's grab some circuit boards from over here. Thankfully, I do have plenty of those extra. And now I can use that to make... Really? What am I low on? Oh, I also don't have any of these. Let's grab those. Magnetic coils, right? Yep, magnetic coils. All right, so... This might work, although I might need to move these down one. Hang on, let's see what I can get away with here. Why am I out of... Oh no, I'm not out. I just... Okay. There we go. I needed to pull them out of the logistics bar. That is one thing. The fact that some stacks can actually fit in there, that's one thing that really throws me off. I'll get used to it eventually, but for now it's a lot to adjust to. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to need to do a couple of these. That's fine. I can build 5 of them. Okay, and now we will significantly increase our silicon production here on this world. Okay, so that's part of that problem dealt with. Let's see what else is contributing to it. It looks like the copper ingot and the iron ingot lines are completely full here. And the real question is, once I've got this kind of flowing a little bit more, as it is now, will it be enough? Or will I need more? Because I could do more. I could do more right here. I'd have to change the way I had the copper oriented slightly, but you know what? Let's go ahead and just do it. Let's just do it. Why the heck not? Now, of course, the game is going to yell at me and throw a whole bunch of stuff on the ground because it's stuffed my inventory full of things, which I appreciate, but at the same time, I don't. All right, there's that. I have not fully upgraded all of these yet. Making a mess all over the place. Alright, one thing I might be able to do is I can put these back. There we go. Now there's still 5 litter somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Just got to sweep the ground till it... Oh, there we go. Got it all. Perfect. Oh, man. Okay. So now I can make some additional Mark II assemblers. Let's get those taken care of. And I think that should be at the right angle. Damn it, it's not. All right. Oh, damn, I deleted the whole line. I didn't mean to do that. All right, well. Welp. Here we are. I'm just going to have to bring it all the way back here, across here. And then what I shall do, let's close that. Also, I want to have this straightened somewhat so that it goes to about right there. I am not out of that item. What are you talking about? Hang on. Let me just drag some of those back into my inventory. There we go. I'm sure there is a sensible explanation for having a stack of them kind of in the logistics stack. I would love for those buttons just to be the buttons where you can set up the settings. I don't want my stuff to get like put into an additional row of inventory that is like that makes inventory harder to manage. So it might be the one aspect of Dyson Sphere Program that's not as well engineered as the rest right now, but it might also be because I don't fully understand the way they've got it set up. All right, so these lines are ugly as heck. I did not mean to delete that. Let's see. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'm going to point it down here, but I'm not going to actually let it travel the whole way. I'm going to delete that part, and that will get it mostly straight. Yeah, so this is the north, south, east, west problem I discussed in previous episodes. And then these are not currently pulling copper off the line because I repositioned it, so we'll have to get that solved. And then this just needs to pull off of that line. And output there. There we go. All right, so now we're outputting a little bit more in terms of those. And we'll see kind of how that allows things to stack up. Now there was a shortage over here as well. Let's take a look. Looks like a shortage of motors that is due to a shortage of gears. That's right. So additional gear production. How can we do this? All right, so these require gears. I'm going to need to pull... I've got some metal there, some gears there. Might be that I can have another one. Yeah, this is getting a little dicey here. What I would honestly like to do, if possible, let's see if we can do this. Will it let me get away with it? All right, it looks like the storage is going to block it there. So I've kind of boxed myself in more than I intended to here. What I need to do is find a way to get additional gears into this little bottleneck. Another alternative would be to have the belt stay low here. Oh, that could work. Oh, that could really work. Okay. Okay, I might have a solution. Hang on. This is going to be a little weird. I'm going to go ahead and delete these lines. So here's what we'll do. We will move this. Why are you doing that? You should be raising automatically, and yet you're not. So I'll have to do it manually. Oh, it's because it's a partially raised line, so the code must not work exactly the same. That's fine. That's to be expected. Okay. So now we've brought them all the way down here. Let's... Excuse you, I just deleted that, so that wouldn't happen. Thank you. So what I've essentially done here is I'm going to bring the gears back around to the other side. Let me go ahead and place this here. And then we will straighten that line out, put it that way. Okay, so those will still have their gears, in theory. But very importantly, I can now change up the way I'm doing this. So I need, from this line, I might need to do the same with the metal, honestly, in order to really make this work as effectively as I can. But for now, let me try this. Let's delete these sorters. And we're going to turn you... I'm just carrying way too much stuff, and it's mainly on account of the logistics bots that I picked up. But it's also because I brought a ton of graphene, frankly, a ton more than I needed. Okay, there's that. All right, so now we need to output these onto the line. And that will improve the problem somewhat. Ideally, what we would like to see is this line backed up and staying backed up. Another alternative would be I could move these around slightly and add additional motor production down here so that this would be... Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. It's a little bit higher maintenance level, but let's just knock it out. So we're going to destroy these. We're going to have gears output from here as well. We're not going to be pulling from that line anymore. We're going to be outputting to that line. And so now, yeah, I don't have to move the metal line at all. I just have to move where these are being produced around a little bit. Matter of fact, hang on. If I put you here, oh, that's perfect. So first things first, let's go ahead and add additional gear production once I have a little bit more added to the metal line here. It's not pretty at all. The points that were made about east to west building as opposed to north to south are thoroughly taken. All right, so we just copy pasted that and it is pulling exactly from the lines it needs to, so that's some additional motor production. Now let's just look at this situation. Want those to come down to about there. Those are also not auto lifting, so we will have to do it ourselves. There we go. And now we can copy paste this one. Ooh, it's actually putting the sorters where they need to be. I wasn't expecting that. Nice. Now let's just delete the excess. I don't love that though. Okay, so while we fixed that, let's go over here and take a look at this situation. How are we doing here? Still seems like we might have a slight shortage, but notice that even this end building is not actually ever like completely running out to the point that we're getting any notifications that there's a problem. Well, there's a notification, but it's pretty rapidly getting more silicon. So we seem to have mostly fixed the issue production-wise here. That's good news. So with that being done, let's head back to Alpha Andromedae 2, and we can start looking at what we need to do to get our yellow cubes going. Meanwhile, while we are on the way, let's go ahead and set some speed. Let's get up to a nice almost 700 meter per second cruise. Now, most of the next upgrades require yellow cubes, yes? So we're pretty much at that point. I can unlock Reforming Refine, which is a newer technology that they have added that allows you to get additional coal back out of the process. So actually, it's not additional coal, additional fuel back out of the process. So you feed more coal into the outputs from the X-ray cracking and get more fuel. Or maybe it's the outputs from the stage 1 refining, which I believe it is, actually. Yeah, so it takes the outputs from stage 1 refining. You add coal and you get even more fuel. So it's a way to increase liquid fuel production if you're relying on it. It's not super necessary. Again, it's a newer addition to the game, but the option is there. All right, so we're at our speed cap now, cruising back in towards Homeworld and Home Gas Giant. Seems like we might kind of... Yeah, interesting. All three planets are kind of on this side of the system right now, so we have some distance from the main star. That's not always the case. It grabbed us pretty hard the first time I flew by it, but that was also an intentional flyby, so... That being said, if we got into that situation again, it wouldn't be nearly as difficult to escape the gravity pull of the star, given the fuel upgrade. The star is definitely speeding us up right now, past our speed maximum. I don't care, I'll take the help. So, let's take a look at structure matrices. They require diamond, and they require titanium crystal. So we're going to need to make plastic, and we're going to need to make these special crystals, these organic crystals, out of the plastic. So that'll be the next step that we work on with our chemical lab production areas. I still love that chemical effect that they added. That's relatively new, and it looks fantastic, like just about every other graphical effect in the game. All right, we're back. Let's go ahead and drop our stuff off so that we're no longer chock full of everything. All right, so are you coming to get stuff from me? Is that what you're doing? Because that's what you should be doing. Oh no, you're flying stuff to me. Okay, well, yeah, see, I would really like you to just automatically grab the stuff off of me, but there appears to be no real way to tell the game that that's what you want done. Like, if you're carrying a certain amount on you, unfortunately it doesn't work, because you can't make this amount higher than that amount. It's only going to be a problem for now. But I got excited because I'm not as accustomed to that feature being in the game. And I guess I was thinking about it in terms of how much it would help like what I'm doing in the series right now. I was thinking about it a little bit incorrectly. So it will come in handy later in the series when you want to stay stocked on a certain number of items, but then you want the excess above a certain level taken out of your inventory. You can do that. Okay, so Oh, I can put some additional hydrogen fuel cells in the tank. That'll help. So I need to make a couple of things. We need to make diamond, which is made from some of the resources we already have. So I'm going to be doing a lot over here. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is build an extension to this line, and then I'm going to have 4 smelters, all of which are working on turning this into diamond. So that's that. And we've set up an output line there. Now again, very importantly, one of the next things we're going to need to refine, there are 2 things. They're both made in chemical facilities. We're going to need plastic, first and foremost. And plastic will use the fuel and energetic graphite. So notice this is exactly why energetic graphite can become a problem in terms of the amount of things that require it, because we are currently needing to produce plastic with energetic graphite, organic crystal with energetic graphite. We already need to produce graphene using energetic graphite. And these are all resources which heavily require that particular input. So, one thing I'm realizing I probably need to do here is move my graphene storage slightly. So I'm going to do that. Let's go ahead and get a new splitter built. And what we'll do is have it here instead, because I don't actually need the graphene for anything else. So now we'll place a couple of storage on top of that. We'll grab as much graphene as we can. And that's most everything. Very good. Alright, now that's done. Is this really completely full? Well, that's good. Like, I'm okay with having that much graphene. Tell you what, I'll go ahead and build my first tier 3 storage, because I can do that. Did I also finish? I think I did. I completely forgot about this. This is kind of important. Speaking of research speed, we can build these up a little higher now. So let's get that done. Yep. It looks like I need a bit of glass to build the remaining ones. That's fine. I've got some right here. A bit of metal and some circuit boards. I keep saying metal. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Why can I not see this building? There it is. I'll go ahead and build 4 just to have some additional ones in my inventory, but I probably don't need them. Okay, reforming refine is done. Okay, that's all I can build. But that's good. That'll help us get that research done a little bit faster. And how many chemical facilities do I need? Oh, good. I can build several. Let's go ahead and build... I'm kind of liking the yield of my current output, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I want 9 built. You know what? Let's just do 1 more. Why not? I've got the resources for it sitting in my inventory, so let's get it done. Okay. Actually, one thing I'm realizing about these I'm going to have to hold that thought, because right now, for the next thing I need to build... Okay, so we're about to build two things that require chemical facilities. We're going to build plastic, and we're going to build organic crystal. And organic crystal requires the plastic. So this is going to need the fuel, and it's going to need the energetic graphite that I already have here. So what I'm going to do is have this kind of come in this way, come through this way, and we will build 3 in a row. Oh, perfect. It managed to get in there before the water prevented it from doing so. Okay, so this will be the plastic. Alright, so then our producing plastic. Let's go ahead and get one more Tesla tower built there. So we have 3 producing plastic. We need an output line, which is not a problem. And then does anything else require sulfuric acid? No, it does not. I will, however, need more water shortly. Thankfully, I will have plenty. So I'm going to just build right over this water here. Oh my god. I just looked at the episode timer. This game, let me tell you, it will absorb you. And I mean that in the best possible way. It is lovely. So in the next episode, what we're going to do is we'll have a second stage to this process that will build organic crystals. Once we have organic crystals, we will build titanium crystals using titanium and organic crystals. And we will also build diamonds using coal, which I had set up a moment ago, but then I realized I needed the space for something else. Or not using coal, but using the energetic graphite. So once we have that done, what we'll be able to do is make yellow cubes, which will enable us to use an entire host of research options that are not yet available to us, including, let's take a quick look, by the way. Interstellar Logistics System. So this is the ship that not only can travel between planets, but this is the logistics system that will eventually be able to travel between worlds. Does that mean we're going to be traveling to other stars using warp drive anytime in the next couple of episodes? No, it doesn't. But it does mean that a lot of the back and forth that we've seen so far, in terms of needing to shuttle resources from our outpost world to this one ourselves, will no longer be necessary, and we'll just be able to focus on making sure the entire apparatus as a whole is functioning efficiently, which, again, it just keeps getting more and more satisfying, and it doesn't get old. I've played this game for way too many hours relative to the other games that I have owned for the same amount of time. So I'm looking forward to continuing on the journey with you all. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New emotes are coming out every day. New emotes? No, new episodes are coming out every day at noon U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.